Good evening, everyone, and welcome, very warm welcome to you all to Oldham Theatre Workshop and our end-of-term showbacks for the autumn term. As I said, I'm coming to you from Oldham Theatre Workshop, which is officially the only place colder than the North Pole at the moment, because our heating has gone off, which is brilliant, but we're hoping that our live stream stays on. Fingers crossed. We have had a couple of technical hitches along the way. If that does happen, please don't worry. We're completely ready and waiting to push button on an email to send you a link to the film. But we're hoping that it doesn't cut out and that it'll all run perfectly smoothly. And that we won't be cold because we'll be warmed by the magic of theatre very shortly. Before we show you the film, we are going to be lucky enough to meet three of the actors from the piece who not only have they acted in it, but they've written it, directed it, and created it from scratch. So we're going to find out all about how that works, and we're going to meet the staff from Oldham Theatre Workshop who've been working with them too. So I'm just going to play you a short film. Lasts about 2 minutes, and when I come back, I'll be joined by those brilliant people. See you shortly.
Everyone will be mad. Tom will hate me.
No one's going to hate you.
I think I might be pregnant.
How long?
Minute.
This is tough. Oh, you're not what I expected.
You must now follow the regulations of the examination.
Well, I'm staying over, so we could spend all night together.
So, Lily's party.
We're guessing that there's going to be some drinking.
I'm still gonna have sex with Tom.
What?
I'm with you. That's all.
Can you call me back, please, as soon as you get this?
What's going on?
Do you want me to go and get you a test?
No. Time's up.
All right. So if you're wondering, that piece is going to be coming out in February next year. It's called Birthday, and keep an eye out for it on our social media feeds. I'm now joined brilliantly by Lucy. Give us a wave as I call your name so that we can know who you are. So it's Lucy. Hi, Lucy. Gabriel and Hattie. And they are all three of the actors who are in our Thursday 13 plus group. And Sarah is here, who's the workshop leader, and Billy is the assistant workshop leader for that group. So hello all, thanks for joining us. We'd just like to spend this little moment just to find out a bit more about the piece that we're about to see. Let's. Who should I start with? It'd be great to find out how it all works. So maybe Gabriel, because maybe we'll start with you. You've got a very blue face, Gabriel. Moody lighting there. How does it work then, Gabriel? When we're at Theatre Workshop a year ago, we were just talking about this. A year ago, Gabriel was doing your first piece with us, I think. And the lead role in our Christmas production, which was The Goldfish Boy. Gabriel was the Goldfish Boy. And that was a live performance in the studio here. And on that show, you were given a script and given a part, and it was an adaptation of a book. It's not the same process this time, is it? So what can you tell us about the difference?
It was quite a lot different. It was really good, I think, for online and doing it online. Basically what happened was we went away into like things called breakout rooms and wrote the script ourselves. And a lot of the time it was just us improvising and, you know, saying bits of dialogue at each other, and it sort of came together to form, you know, scenes, and eventually we managed to make a play out of it.
Wow, that was brilliantly put into a perfect little nutshell there. Let's ask Hattie. So Hattie, Gabriel talked about the fact that you'd written it yourselves. Does that mean that you'd actually physically written it, or that you'd improvised it and created it together? How's that worked?
So we did like half and half. So like sometimes we go into breakout rooms and like write up the actual script, and then obviously it'll be recorded and then written up. And then sometimes we just like improvise it, and obviously it'll be recorded and written up again because sometimes we didn't have much time. So when we didn't have much time, we'd improvise. But yeah.
Brilliant, brilliant. But you have actually done some writing exercises as well as doing the improv.
Yeah.
And have you done that before?
Yeah, I've done like quite a lot of script work, and yeah, it was quite complicated at the end because we all had like different scripts and we had to like put them together, but it worked out quite well.
Oh, brilliant! Thanks. And Lucy, so you this is not your first term with Theatre Workshop, is it? Because you've done stuff with us for a while, but it is your first. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is your first term working with us online. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. This is my first term with the 13 plus age group as well.
Oh, okay. So how have you? So you've come up from the 8 to 12s where you were actually in the room with everybody here at the studio, and then so now you're in the 13 plus group and it's all online and on Zoom. How have you found that?
Considering the like circumstances, it's actually been like really good to like see people like create new friendships and just have a laugh whilst doing drama, and kind of connects you all.
Brilliant. So definitely the having the laugh bit is actually, it's a really big important part of it, isn't it? Sarah, what can you tell us about this group, how it's all been this term? Because actually largely this group have been the same across 2 terms, is that right? And they did the radio play last time.
Yeah, so we kept a core 6, so that it was a group of 8 this term. So we had 6 that had all stayed from writing the radio play, and then Lucy and Casper joined us. So we had a sort of a slightly bigger group. I mean, it's interesting that we talk about it being fun, because I'm now thinking about it and wondering whether we're a bit mean with this group and a bit hard on them because they're so good that we tend to be like, right, straight into groups, go and write something, bring, we sort of push them quite hard really, because they just are capable of, and also you can't do this in a group of 20 in the room. So it's sort of what Hattie and Lucy have mentioned really about working with the circumstances that we're in. What has happened with this group is we've almost found a way of working that I don't think we would be doing if we were in the studio, but has actually been a really creative, kind of productive experience. And Billy and I just leave them to it a lot of the time. I mean, they don't really need us. They're just dead good. So, yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean about this group, because you do like a challenge with them. So last time, a radio drama. So it sort of encouraged doing things very, very differently. So although you can see everybody on Zoom, you chose to sort of do a radio drama, which was a really, really interesting thing to do. And probably, I don't think actually we've done that at Theatre Workshop for about 15 years. I do remember a long time ago that we did a radio drama. So it's really great that it's encouraged new stuff. And then this time, you've chosen to do a murder mystery, which is, from what I hear, one of the hardest things to write and to create is a murder mystery, because how do you keep the mystery for just the right amount of time, and how do you keep everybody going? Billy, how has that been? Because I know that you've been involved obviously all the way through, and you've also been involved in the final sort of pulling together of this one, the editing.
Yeah. Considering at the beginning of the process we were given the theme of bubble, and then we suddenly got to a murder mystery, it's beyond me. I don't know how we got there, but I couldn't imagine the show being any different. They've sprouted this idea and we just thought we'll run with it.
Whose idea was it then to do the murder mystery?
Not sure. I'm not sure.
That's the beauty of these things, is that it just kind of all blurs into a little magical mist of who did what.
But they've just completely ran with it and made it their own, and it's just become its own show, regardless of it not fitting the theme.
So what can you tell me about your characters then? So Lucy, tell us about who you play. And do you play one character or do you play a number of characters? Tell us a bit.
I play one character. Her name's Mary. She's around like 25 and she's a maid that works at the manor for the Barringtons.
Ah, okay. So this is not set in modern day.
No.
No, okay.
We haven't actually decided on a specific date, but it isn't modern.
Some period drama time.
We watched the trailer. We watched the trailer of the original Death on the Nile, didn't we? As a bit of kind of inspiration of those old kind of Poirot-esque, because Kenneth Branagh keeps remaking some of the Agatha Christie's, but we wanted it to have that flavour of sort of set in a past time, definitely.
Yeah, they do make the best murder mysteries, I think.
Yeah.
Hattie, who do you play?
So I play Lady Clara, and she's a widow. Her husband was Charles Barrington. He was like the favourite Barrington child, but he died in the war. And I'm like quite a sly, I'm not going to spill the beans, but like I'm quite like a sly, cold character. I'm not really liked by anyone online, and they all think I'm a sponger. I think I'm out for money. So yeah.
That sounds brilliant. And Gabriel, who are you?
I play a character called Harry Farquaad, and Harry is very.
These are good names, but it's a really good names.
He's this very upper class guy. He's traveled around the world. He's literally fresh off a boat from like Egypt or somewhere like that. And he goes around like discovering species. He's a Titanic survivor. He's done everything. He's been there and done it.
Wow, what a guy. What a guy. So does this piece have a title that we can introduce it as? Or is that a mystery too?
Well, we're a bit ashamed to say that we've fallen a bit short on the title, haven't we, guys?
Yeah.
Wait for it. I mean, you're barely going to believe how exciting this title is.
I can't wait. What is it?
I can't say it. Billy's going to have to do it.
It's called A Murder Mystery.
You can't have all of those brilliant names of characters and call it a murder mystery. Oh well, maybe we'll let the audience decide what they think the title is once they've seen it. So thank you very much for joining us, you guys. And I'm now going to cut over to show the film, and you can whisk off into the other room or switch what you're looking at so that you can watch it, and hope you all really enjoy it. I'm going to come back just very, very briefly at the end to just tell you all about a few things that we've got coming up over the next few weeks, and then to talk about a little bit about next term, which is next year. All right, enjoy A Murder Mystery.
It was a spine-chilling, blood-curdling, hair-rising night. But before that, let's go back to the beginning. Picture this. Another motor car driving along the twisting, turning roads, all leading up to the Barrington Manor, a place I had visited many times before.
Max, how are you feeling about the big day tomorrow?
Well, I am very excited to marry your daughter.
Good. I just hope she makes a good wife for you. Mary, get this man a drink. For tonight, we're celebrating.
Yes, sir.
Oh, hello, dear.
It seems you're getting on well with your future son-in-law.
Well, here is the bride-to-be.
Isn't it meant to be unlucky to see the bride before you're getting married? We wouldn't want to ruin your amazing day.
Sir, your first guests have arrived.
Hello everybody, the name's Harry Farquaad, explorer of the world, discoverer of species, and winner of the New York Times Heart of a Lion Award, 1921. It is a pleasure to be in your company, fresh off the boat from Egypt. Gerald, so nice to see you on this fresh autumn morning, and the same to you, Victoria. Rose, my sincerest congratulations to you and your husband-to-be, the man himself, Max Thimbleby. I have so much to tell you all since we last met. I have ventured into the heart of the Bolivian jungle and journeyed into the Great Pyramids of Egypt and treaded the cobbles of foreign lands. I will go further in my traditional after-party presentation, but for now, I will leave the projector in your study, Gerald, and I know you won't mind. Maid, fetch us a brandy, will you, when we sit down for drinks? And a glass of your finest bottle of oat Chardonnay for my Louisa. She has volunteered at one of the mayor's charity events, so will be joining us later.
Well, you can tell us more after your presentation.
Knock, knock, knock. The party has officially started, my darlings. Rose, my love, congratulations. And you, Max. Harry looking dapper as always. Lady Victoria, love that corset. Gerald.
Harriet.
Aren't we missing someone? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah, Clara. Where is she?
Hello everyone, long time no see.
There she is.
Speak of the devil.
Well, let's go to the dining room to celebrate.
Please, everybody, take a seat.
Oh, Gerald, I've just seen an exotic species of bird perched upon your gate. It reminded me of one I saw in Bolivia.
It wasn't another one of those ladies, was it, Harry?
Oh no, I'm settled with my darling Louisa now. We're actually getting engaged.
Oh, Harry, congratulations. You always were a ladies' man.
Oh, Harry, you do remind me of my darling Charles.
The dinner was a blast, and the champagne went down like a treat. Louisa soon arrived after a busy day at the charity event, but was the first to leave to bed. I don't think she was feeling it tonight. After Harry's presentation, everyone followed Louisa's lead, and the next thing we know, we all awoke to...
I'm never going to be able to get this picture out of my head. It's going to haunt me. It's the worst thing I've ever seen.
She's just lying there, lifeless.
There's blood everywhere, and the desk drawer's open.
That paperweight, the shredded paper, they weren't there last night during Harry's presentation. She must have been stabbed. Look at the blood.
Can anyone smell smoke?
Does this mean I can't get married?
Who has done this? What monster? Curse you all!
What are you all doing? You're tampering with the evidence. Slowly, without touching anything, make your way to the dining room. I'm going to speak to you all individually. Harry, if you'd like to come with me, please.
After Louisa arrived, we had a small chat in the study until she left to mingle with the rest of you. I continued to set up my things just before Louisa notified me that she was leaving for bed due to a sudden migraine. I wished her good night and off she went. I returned to you all to remind you that the presentation was about to begin, and we remained in the study until about midnight. I packed my things away by 12 and went for a midnight stroll in the gardens before finding Gerald, half of a bottle of brandy down. I may have stopped for a little nightcap, but then quickly retired to my bedroom at around 1 in the morning.
I was exhausted last night, especially after Harry's presentation, so I decided to treat myself to a couple of low-calorie chocolates so I wouldn't gain any more pounds. I also tried my new skincare toner. After that, I put on my pussycat sleeping mask and slept like a log. No wonder I didn't wake up to the screaming. Obviously, my new lavender aroma spray works.
I went to bed at 12:15, but couldn't get to sleep due to the excitement which awaited me. I did hear some noises coming from the eastern staircase, and I quickly investigated them, a daring, brave attempt to protect my darling Rose. I saw Clara rummaging around in some boxes before we met eyes. I decided to make a quick exit for a business call.
After helping Harry pack up his equipment, I left to go and put the mansion to sleep. I shut all the doors, windows, curtains and polished all the marble surfaces. I walked past the studies around 12:10, knocked politely and asked Harry to lock the door when he had finished. I heard someone else in the room with him, but didn't want to be rude and interrupt, so I made it quick. I went to bed and must have dropped off at around 1:10.
I went to bed straight after Harry's presentation, but was forced to sleep on the west wing because I'm no longer considered a Barrington. Anyway, at about 12:27 last night, I woke up from an awful nightmare about Charles at war, and I thought, why don't I go and sleep in his bedroom because it's quite a coping mechanism. So I crept downstairs so no one would hear me and got out of bed at about, 12:30? But as I'm walking down the stairs, I lock eyes with Max Thimbleby. I mean, who on earth would he be on the phone to at that time of night? He was on the phone. But I minded my own business. And as I'm making my way to Charles's bedroom, I was walking past the study and I hear muffled voices coming from inside. And I could make out Victoria's voice, but who on earth would she be in her husband's study with at that time of night?
Well, there was no way I could sleep right after that lecture. My mind was just too preoccupied. So instead, I went to the drawing room and I finalised my ideas for the upcoming charity event. It must have been about 1:45 when I went to bed, because I saw Gerald passing me on the stairs to get a glass of water. I don't think he could sleep either. But when I went up to bed, it took about 10 minutes for me to get to sleep most. I'm so tired, work's really exhausting lately.
After a few brandies, I went to bed rather early. I have very little recollection of what happened that evening. Although I do remember passing my beloved Victoria on the stairs at around 1:45, I'd say, as I went to get a glass of water, but apart from that I don't really recall much from happening.
I remember waking up to see gathering my thoughts and taking in a gasp of fresh air on my balcony at around 2:30 a.m, where I could hear the dogs snarling and growling at something down below. I suspected nothing, so returned to bed and only recently woke up to the sounds of Mary here.
I was so exhausted and nervous for my big day that I went to bed almost straight away. I was tossing and turning all night, so at around 2:15-ish, I went out for a stroll in the garden. The dogs did seem to be startled by this, so I quickly quieted them down, and I don't think anyone heard, but I can't be sure. And then after that I went straight to bed, only to be awoken hours later.
It wasn't long until I was alerted by the sound of the dogs barking just after 2 a.m. I quickly shot up out of my bed, checked outside, as it is my sole duty to protect the Barrington family. I eventually realised it was only Rose helping herself to a glass of water and going for a walk in the gardens. I went back to bed and woke up at 6:15. I got ready and prepared for the day ahead, opening curtains, sweeping and unlocking the rooms, only to find something horrifying on the floor of the study.
Little did I know that when I arrived at Barrington Manor for my dear Rose's wedding, that my amateur sleuth skills would be required once again. Well, it could have been any of you, really.
Well, I mean, that's fantastic then, isn't it? Case solved, I guess. I mean, could have been any of us, the greatest detective in the world thinks. So, Harriet, are you able to do us all a favour and just tell us straight up who it is?
Well, here's the thing, Gerald. You could have paid anybody to kill somebody of your choice. After all, you are the richest man in the world, right?
Well, yeah, but...
Enough. You cannot come into this household where we have done so much for you and treat us like you don't know us. No, that's not okay. Have a bit of respect.
Harriet, Mummy and Daddy and I were so excited for this wedding. I can't believe you would do this.
You? Excited for the wedding? Oh, come on, Rose.
What's that supposed to mean?
Let's be honest, you never liked Max. You're in love with Harry. You've loved him since teenage years.
Is this true?
Well, quite interesting now. Well, it's getting rather interesting now, isn't it? Because I don't think Rose is the only Barrington that's in love with Harry.
What are you alluding to?
It's so obvious that you are. I heard you both in the study last night.
Victoria, is that true?
Me and Harry were simply having a conversation.
Conversation, yeah, because it definitely sounded like that to me.
How dare you? I deny all charges that you are pressing against me.
Getting married or not, or can I just go? Because I was only really in it for the money.
Wait right there, Max. Or should I even call you that, George Parker?
Wait, George Parker, as in the guy who scammed someone into buying the Golden Gate Bridge?
I knew he was crazy.
Cannot believe I've had such criminals in my house.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I've took it up with both of you, and I've been wondering since now's quite a good time to, say, where's my allowance, Gerald? My lovely allowance. Where's
Clara,
it gone?
let me tell you about your allowance. You're not going to get it. All right?
Can't you just be grateful you're actually getting something? Since Charles died, you're not even a part of this family.
I'm not a part of this family. You're just a dirty little maid that no one cares about.
I'm not just a dirty little maid that nobody cares about. I'm Gerald's daughter.
Excuse me?
What?
The cat is out of the bag.
Yeah, you're my dad.
Could you explain?
You remember Iris, right? The maid worked for you her entire life. Died
Mary, let me tell you something about Iris, right? Iris was delusional. That's why we sacked her, all right?
How dare you speak badly of my mother? She was an amazing woman.
Speak badly, I'm telling you the truth about this woman.
Gerald, how come I've never heard of this really interesting story before? All these years, I thought we were in love. I thought I was the only one.
Don't try and pull this back on me after what you've done with Harry, all right?
I'm sorry, but my question still hasn't been answered. Where's my allowance?
Yes, Gerald. Why wouldn't she be getting her allowance?
Because it's gone, all right?
What do you mean it's gone?
Every last penny that we have is gone.
Have you not thought about how that would affect me?
Affect you? What do you mean affect you? I've got to feed a goddamn family.
Right. If I'm not getting my allowance, I'm going. See ya.
Not yet, Clara. You see, the thing is, you did it.
Well, Harriet, you've cracked the code, haven't you? Yes, I killed Louisa, and I want you all to listen, because you might learn one or two things about her. Right? She bullied me all the way through boarding school, but no one believed me because she's always had this, perfect impression against her. So everyone thinks she's Little Miss Charity and whatnot, and it's all fake. But I removed her from my memory, and I completely forgot about her. Until the dreadful day came where I had to clean out Charles's bedroom, and I was packing up his belongings, when I came across a letter. And to my utter despair, it was a love letter that he was about to send to Louisa. And my heart broke. How stupid of me to forget about her when she was having an affair with my husband. Well, I thought he was fighting at war. Half the time he was with Louisa. But I forgot about it. I had nothing else to, I had no choice. I had to forget about it. Until I got the party invite to the Barrington Manor for Rosie's and Max's engagement party. And I remember the moment I locked eyes with her last night. After 17 years. And I'll tell you what, that migraine that she had, that wasn't a migraine. That was her rummaging around, trying to find evidence. And well, she obviously didn't realise the letter that I had. So, at 12:30 at midnight, I crept downstairs and I saw her in the study. So, I confronted her and I showed her the letter and I held it up and I said, I know everything. I know everything about this affair. And I was threatening her and I said, I'm going to out you to everyone tomorrow morning. But she grabbed the letter from my hand and she tossed it in the fire. And my anger, but I managed to save the letter. But I turned around and she's holding this paperweight. And she was holding the paperweight. And she was about to kill me. She was about to hit me in the head with a paperweight. So I picked up a red hot poker by the fire and I stabbed her. And the red hot poker went right through her flesh. So that explains the smoke in the air you will smell, this morning. And I'll tell you what, I don't regret killing her one bit, because seeing her dead was satisfying.
How dare you? That was my darling Louisa. We were engaged. You will face the consequences for this.
Well, she was lying to you the whole time. She was lying to everyone.
Cunning ruse, I say.
This family, I thought I loved you all. It's fallen apart right in front of my eyes. And you, get her out of my sight. Get her out of my house. Someone call the police. I can't take her anymore. As I drove down the twisting, turning roads leading away from the Barrington Manor, I was suddenly aware that it was the end of an era, a chapter closing. And I considered whether next time I received a wedding invitation, I should stay at home and have a nice cup of tea.
Please join me in giving that group a huge round of applause in all your homes. Absolutely brilliant. It was indeed a cunning ruse. And that red hot poker, it's always the red hot poker. What a brilliant piece of drama, and brilliantly written, brilliantly devised by a brilliant group of people. Well done, all of you. That was fantastic. And thanks for sharing it with us tonight. So just a couple of things to just tell you about that are coming up. Like I said, Gabriel was in our Christmas show here last year, and every year we do a big Christmas production. This year we've had to obviously think very differently, but we are still doing an original show, an original piece of theatre, but this time it's filmed and it's in two parts. So part one is going to be live streamed just like this. It's called The Girl with a Pin. It's got an amazing cast of even more brilliant young people from Oldham. And that is going to be going out on a live stream on Friday the 18th of December. So we'll make sure that you all know about that, but I'm just kind of giving you a heads up now so you can put that little mark in your diaries, and be brilliant if you could join us for that. Before that, from the 11th onwards, we've got a brilliant new film, which is for families to all gather around and enjoy. It's called National Elf at Your Service. You get to meet Brian the Elf, who was featured in our last Christmas show at Oldham Library Performance Space. And this year, Brian is back with a fully interactive film where part of it you watch and part of it he issues challenges for you to all do, some daft things and fun things that you can do around the house. Please get involved with it. It's completely free. You will need to just book on, but it'll again be live streamed on YouTube. So a very similar process to this. We'd love you to get involved in that. So just keep an eye out, and there's loads coming up. And then we'll also be in touch with you very shortly about our plans for next term. And we've got everything crossed that we're going to be back in the building, smaller groups, but back in the building, working together in our studio. Obviously, we'll be taking the greatest of care to make sure that everybody's safe. Our studio's all been designed up now with boxes on the floor, all 2 meters apart. And we feel like we're completely ready to do that, so long as the government guidelines allow us to do so. So if they do, then we'll be really looking forward to welcoming you back into the building. And then hopefully next year we'll just get better and better as it goes on. For now, it's just left for me to say have a fantastic Christmas and look forward to seeing you all in the new year. Bye for now.